Hello and welcome to the Cat Collective. I'm Nina, I'm the channel for this channel. And let's start. Today's reading is actually for Aquarius because I was counting, or not counting, I looked at the playlists and discovered that there was one video missing for Aquarius. And I also then remembered why. Why? Before I had my break, right? I recorded a video and I wanted to upload it, and I still wanted to do that in a way, but then I lost it. Like I accidentally deleted it. Yeah, and then this card was already in the pile of the cards of the zodiac signs I was using. Or you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's how it happens. So this is probably a message for you too. This card comes again on the pile I'm still using because, yeah, you need one more, right? So, yeah. So, let's see what we got for you. Oh, lovely. That's something. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's something else. Oh. Okay. And play. Okay, place again on the table. I just think it's interesting because, you know, I was like, yay, oh, perspective. The crossing initiation. Okay. And many masks. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, it really feels like adaptability. Okay. It really feels like okay, but I need you know, it's just no, I'm not talking just yet. I just put all the cards on the table and then I talk. Okay. Oh, yeah, in the reverse though. That's good. This also in the reverse again. Perspective, is that good or not? I don't know. Telepathy, yay! We like that. So funny. Okay, yeah, so it really feels like a relationship thing because of the first card, right? Relationship reading. It feels to me that you are in a very special and deep bond with someone. But when I see those both cards together, I'm like, has it been a strong bond, or are you maybe considering to leave it? Because it really feels to me that you are considering to leave a situation. That you are considering to leave a bond behind. But why is that? And again, perspective. I think it could be that you feel that if you lose the bond, that you would be more authentic. Or that some, you know, with the initiation, maybe something comes in for you where which it's an outside trigger that kind of brings you to this thought, or that motivates you almost, because when I see perspective, I see upside down, you know. It's this usually when you break a deep bond with someone, you'd be very sad and grieving, right? But for me, it feels more like you'd be free in a way, right? And I'm not saying that it is a bad thing. It's just this, you know, it's not, I don't think, you know, this is the thing. I don't think that you are in a bond where you are arguing a lot, you know. Could be that you're in a relationship, and I don't think that you argue a lot. I just feel like the communication is almost non-existent because of this in reverse. It's this, yeah, you know, when you are with someone for a long time, right? And you just don't talk anymore, and you retreat into your inner landscape, right? You retreat into your inner landscape, and then you are more with yourself, you know, with this the communication here and this with the spiral. It's this when you are with someone for a long time and you retreat into your own into your own beingness again, you know, and you know, when a strong bond is formed in the beginning of a relationship, everything is put on the table, right? Like all those cards, it's this like, you know, you share everything with someone. But it, you know, I think you're in a situation where you are with someone, but you don't share everything anymore. So it started like this, but now you're in a situation where you don't share everything anymore. And maybe what once was authentic is now not anymore, because, well, if this is the this is the this is basically that you are retreating into your own thing, right? And it's not, you know, you are avoiding arguments, right? And therefore you put on somewhat a mask, and you become more adaptable. You know, it's like I'm getting this image of a tree in a forest or somewhere, and you know, trees they grow slowly in a way, right? But when, for example, when someone puts a chain on a tree, right, and the tree still grows bigger and taller, but the chain gets then you know, the tree then grows into the chain. You know what I mean? So it's like you become adaptable, but you know that that's just how it feels to me. It's just, yeah, you adapt somehow, you know, you adapt everything, but to a degree now where you maybe now see, this eye, that what once was a strong bond and actually deep, it is still, you know, it's this, yeah, it is still, because when you share past, long-standing past with someone, and maybe even share a household or the wallet, which is, you know, it's an entanglement more than a bond. And that's, I think, it's the same with the chain and the tree. It's this, what is holding this construct together? Is it the past and the history of things and everything else? And, you know, it's this typical thing where two people are drifting apart. They're drifting apart even though they are together. You know, physically close, but spiritually miles away, right? Physically together 24/7, but miles apart spiritually, right? And it could be that this insight itself for you, you know, it's this, you try to put a mask on it. You try to talk things nice, right? It's just like, yeah, of course, you know, maybe it's also the entanglement, you know, when you imagine that a chain is in the tree and you have molded yourself around this, and this chain is in the you know, has grown into this whole thing, right? And then can you imagine just ripping it all apart? Of course, then the tree would be free, right? The tree would be free, and it's, you know, but it leaves so much open. It feels almost impossible to remove this bond, right? It feels impossible, because if it has been, together for so long. Everything is together. Everything, It's like the tree has grown on top of the chain and put the bark around it, and you by any means with human force, there is no way to get out of this without causing probably more damage to the tree than leaving it like that. Maybe that's your adaptability, that's your mask, that's your that's what you retreat. That's why you retreat into your inner self. It's this, you know what? Just the imagination of ripping the whole structure apart, the way it grew together, is just so stressful and so much work, and it just that seems impossible because the load of the whole, intertwined responsibility is just too huge, right? And therefore you retreat and you're like putting on a mask and not saying anything, right? But it shows in your energy. It's almost this help, right? Help. Especially, when you think about a relationship that has financial things, then we get all weird, right? Or maybe you have pets together, or it's this, or kids, it's a whole family, everything, the whole structure, everything is together. Friendships, everything, it's this whole structure of everything is together, and it's just. Maybe it's just almost also for you, or it has been, impossible to imagine how it would be without it. It's just when you are so growing around it, it's this, you don't want to fight. You want, even this, it's just the imagination of a rose fight. I just honestly, like when I started reading this, fell off again. I was like, well, okay, what's that? Well, it's this, you don't want to fight. Like, I don't think, I think that's also because you are probably very sensitive, and if you imagine fighting, this would probably, I think you are still very, you are somehow wounded. Probably, if you just imagine if this chain has grown into you, right? And you just, you cannot, when you remove it, then you are wounded and you are maybe just, it's very delicate. Very, it's this bond with the heart. And, but inside you, inside you, there's everything is upside down somehow, because it's a spiral. It's this, again, look, spiral here, spiral there. It's this, if I could only fly, be free. Everything's upside down somehow. It's this, the dandelions again, this picture, and there's a what's it called? Fence. Right? It's this, I don't know if crows can start flying from this position, or if they, I think, what? I think you feel like you would fall if you try to fly, it's just going into the wrong direction in a way, right? It's a perspective thing. And maybe it's also that you try to talk yourself into a perspective that you want that. It's such a familiar structure with so much in place. It just works, right? It works. Without words, actually. Right? But something doesn't work in this structure, right? And that's this, it's a silent cry of something doesn't really work. Not 100% at least. And it's that probably, well, I think when you are with someone and not authentic anymore, right? And you have to wear a mask at home, right? Then it's a bit, it leaves you with this in a state of, well, that's a wound itself, right? That's a wound itself when you cannot be authentically you at home. Is it your home then, if you are not authentic? Or is it a mall where you have to wear, right? It's this, yeah. Or I think it wants to point to, the perspective wants to point to what you are grieving about. It's this, are you grieving about the bond, or are you grieving about your freedom? Because it feels like you're grieving somehow. But what are you, like, it's all of it, right? It's this intertwined thing, and it's like, but what are you grieving about? It's this. And you know, if you would open your mouth and communicate, or maybe you are scared of this, that this would cause some sort of, you know, because if you, for example, if you, with this tree, it's this, when you try to pull at the chains, right? You try to pull at them, causes friction and wounds already in the bark and everything, right? If you try to, and therefore, you know, you don't dare to say something. You don't dare, you adapt. Right? And yeah, that's the question. Like, is it, what's the right way to go? Where's the right way to go? Is it the right way to stay? Or is it the right way to remove the chains? Even though you know it probably causes a lot of pain. Right? It does. And it's a long process, you know. It's for a tree, it's a long process to then, you know, repair the broken parts again, right? And I think that's scaring you more than anything else. It's the process of recovery afterwards. You know? It's the whole process of this. If this wasn't the case, if you could walk out of a situation just like that, you know, it's like going through a portal and being like, yeah, okay, bye. And, you know, it's like having a magical, you know, magic. It's like everything is settled, you know, no entanglements whatsoever. Everything's fine. I think you would do it. But since it appears so complicated, I'm not sure. So let's see if there's some guidance. We can pull off something here. If you find a word, it's yours. Stuck. Sorry. Sorry. New start. Someone. Okay, new start. Sometimes we must realize that what we have done needs to be discarded and we must make a new start. Well, if this is not guidance, I don't know what it is. It's you, right? Holding the roses. but you were flying with the butterfly, so it really feels like, I think if you walk this path, that's a fear of, what if this is so complicated, and it just feels like so much, and it's just so entangled and so complicated, emotionally loaded. But what if if you just release them, the roses, you'd be free to fly. It's almost this trying to hold a million shopping bags in the hand, right? And trying to walk with it, trying to get it up the stairs and everything, and just, how annoying it can get, even though, those roses, they're probably nice. It's just when you have to carry them around, and it's just painful, and, and if you could just release it all and be free, with your wings, and it's just like a butterfly, like this magical butterfly, and it's like losing all the weight of the struggle, right? Because your spirit is in chains when you are in a division like this. It's your spirit. And when you free your spirit, even though it doesn't make sense on the earth plane, right? It doesn't make sense. Maybe for the whole structure it doesn't make sense. It just appears to be stupid. You cannot really, like, this, it doesn't make sense. Like, it's a functioning structure, everything, the wounds have grown together in this tree, right? The chains are being worked into the whole thing, but spiritually, it really makes sense. And it could be that you are much happier because you freed your arms, your whole body from the load of the shopping bags, right? It's this, what you don't need, right? It's what you don't need. And when your spirit is free, you have also the freedom of exploring new things, right? And especially exploring yourself in a way of, who are you actually? Who are you now? Who are you now? That's an important question to ask, because you are certainly, you are different than who you were, right? And I'm sure if you take this step, you will be a completely different person, but in a good way, in a developed way, because you are not stuck anymore, right? You are not being weighed down by the weight of the world, even though you might still carry a lot of things from the past, right? It's just that you are free to grow new branches and just into a completely free direction without any outside force, right? It's this complete new discovery of who you are, and also who you would like, who you would like to be. Maybe you want to go back to a certain time in the past. Maybe you think about, it's this thinking, if you looking back, maybe you made to adapt into this situation. Maybe you made a choice back in the days that you're now overthinking. You're like, maybe I gave up myself somehow, some big parts of myself, just to adapt. It's the same with the tree, when the chain has been put on the tree and the tree grows into this. The tree gives up free development, right? It could be that you are maybe even in regret of this, and this also hurts you so much that you want to justify what you in which situation you are now in. It's this, I need to justify this now, because otherwise I will be in pain about the past decision that I made. Maybe you had to leave things behind that you really were passionate about to make this choice, right? Maybe you had this, yeah, maybe you want to revisit that. And it's never too late, right? And everything is there for a reason. I think, you certainly have learned some valuable skills and everything by being inside a structure like this, right? But you also know that what you are missing out of is maybe learning the lessons that you can learn when you're alone. And it doesn't mean that there has to be a rose fight, right? It can be all, maybe it's mutually beneficial, but no one wants to admit it, right? It's just who says it first, right? Because it's easier when you are being put into a situation than causing it yourself, right? Because then you are the one to blame, right? There's also this fear of, oh, what if I do this step and break out of this, and I'll be the, and the other part, right, your partner maybe is being better off and feeling great after a while, and you witness this, there's also this fear of this, it's this, and you are maybe then regretting what you've done. All the possibilities are on the table. Those are all the thoughts, And that's fear, right? But if you are holding yourself in a stuck position, you will never find out, right? All I can say is that the guidance is when you start is beneficial in this case. So, worry. Worry is attachment to a particular outcome and the fear that it will not come to pass. Originality. Oh, that's so... Feel lighthearted and free while trusting that your unique way of doing things is the right way. Yeah. Look at worry holding to this. Again, the angel, right? How it fits. It's this holding on to. Right? Even though she's almost also out of the picture and originality. Yeah, well. Yeah, it's this, you can discover and unfold maybe some areas of yourself which you couldn't. It's, well, you can do it, and you can do it in a partnership as well, right? You become together original, right? It's just, it depends on the honesty, on the communication, right? So, yeah. But I think it's about what you want to do, right? And what feels best to you. And if it feels restricting somehow, then you need to break out of this, just for your spirit. And even, it's about not fearing the sad emotions in this, right? It's about having the courage to also go through this, because it makes you stronger, right? And manifestation. Soon you may manifest the goal you focus spiritual energies upon. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look how she knows that. In this nice land, and it's all beautiful, and look, and she's free, and yeah, look at this dress. It's like free flowing, and yeah. Very well. Yeah. So I hope this reading is helpful. I feel like a Moonology card just to wrap it all up. And then I pull another card and another. Well, no, we pull instead of the zodiac sign card, because we already know which zodiac sign. I'm gonna put your hard work is paying off. Didn't we have those cards before? Use balance, spirituality, and practicality. Yeah, that's this practicality thing. Yeah. So anyway, right, and yeah, I'm gonna pull your special card from this deck because in this deck every card has the same meaning. The meaning is everything is going to be okay. Looks very Aquarius actually with this water. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, so additional info is in the litter box below, and see you next time. Bye bye.